All right, so they make it through loan origination. They make it through discount points. Here's another way for a bank to make money. Once again, you know this involved an attorney getting drunk. Any other way a logical person would think about this. The third way is this thing called a prepayment penalty. If you're in the biz, the slang is a P3, prepayment penalty. It's a P3. Get this, the bank loans you money, you hit the lottery the next day and you want to give it back to them, they're going to charge you to give them back their money. Dude, it's your money. I don't care. I didn't want it back. I want the money on the interest I would have earned. Now I'm out of that, so I'm going to charge you a penalty for bringing me back money early. The most common prepayment penalty is what they call a 531 prepayment penalty. A 531 prepayment penalty. There are three numbers there, right? There's a 5, there's a 3, and there's a 1. There are three numbers. That tells you that it's 3 years in length. 3 years in length. The first number, which would represent the first year, is 5, which means if you pay back the loan inside of the first year, you pay a 5% penalty for giving it back. So you borrow this 80 grand. You go to the casino the next day and win big and come back and go, hey, I want to give you your 80 grand back. And they go, okay, you now owe us $84,000. 5% of 80 grand is 4, plus the 80 you're giving back, you don't have to pay back $84,000. The second year, which is the second number, is a 3, means you would pay, if you paid back somewhere in that second year, you would pay a 3% penalty, or $2,400. Why did it go down? Because you've paid 1 year already. So the second year, so you're in the 13th to the 24th month. You've already paid the first 12, so now they say it's 3. So now you pay it back. The third year, 1% penalty, because you've paid 2 years now, so you pay a 1%. And then the fourth year is what they call freely repayable. Once the fourth year hits, there's only 3 numbers, 5, 3, 1. That means in the fourth year, you can pay it back and there's no penalty. Probably because they've gained like 60% of their interest in those first 3 years that they were going to get back. All right? So, why is there a prepayment penalty? Typically, loans with a prepayment penalty are 1/4 to 0.5% interest lower because they know they've got you locked in. So if the market rate is at 5, but you get a loan with a prepayment penalty, you may get 4.5%. So then the Columbo question of the day is there ever a time when a prepayment penalty is a good thing? I heard a yes. Explain why. Okay, so your interest rate's lower. If your client, and remember we talked about on day 1, counseling was one of the things I talked about, and I said if you counsel your client well, here's where it pops up. Think about this. Your client tells you, hey, I want to move into New Palestine school system because their football team is excellent right now. They won state, they're going to win state again, and I want my kid who's in first grade to play at New Palestine High School. So they just told you they're going to be there 12 to 18 years. So the first 3 that are a penalty are not an issue for them. But you would get the lower interest rate. So you might go, hey, dude, I need a lender that's going to give me a P3 because I want to get that lower interest rate. so I can help my clients out, pay less money over the long haul because they ain't moving. The other side of that coin is you get Josh who's like, hey, I'm buying the house, but I'm going to walk through it and be out the other side in 6 to 8 months. I'm going to rehab it, flip it, and be gone. Ooh, we don't want a prepayment on you, and it's only a 0.5 point interest. Who cares on 6 months of loan? So for that investor client, you may go, yeah, we don't want the P3, we'll take the higher interest rate because he's going to be in and out and gone and paid off in 6 months. 20, 30 bucks a month for 6 months, who cares? But a $4,000 penalty is a big number to hit. The question is, are they offering those? I don't know of anybody right now that's got a P3. All right? That's just one of the ways they do that. So that's how banks go, and that's what a negotiable instrument is. Everybody say hi, Lynn. Lynn's one of our agents. Huh? Those are hers. The flowers are hers. Do what? Yeah. I want my percentage of these flowers. I want my percentage. Cut a stem off. She obviously did such a good job. She did such a good job, her client sent her flowers. I'm pretty sure it's from the client. I used to send flowers to myself all the time just so I could.
Wow, it is.
Don't sound shocked.
Well, it was a difficult transaction. Wow, that's great. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You're the one that did the good job. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, we just recorded all that. Bye, Lynn. See, that's how good you want to do with your client, where they start sending you flowers after the deal. And yes, it was a particularly hard deal. And she pulled through it and did a good job. All right. So when you sign the promissory note, the IOU that says I'm going to pay you back $553 a month for 360 months, does the bank trust you? No. Don't act shocked. So they are going to make you sign a security instrument, something that gives them security. You are going to hypothecate, which is a real big fancy word for pledge. Hypothecate. Does it sound different when you say it? Okay. Hypothecate. Sound like an echo. Hypothecate, hypothecate, hypothecate. Well, he said, it's in your book. How about that? Hypothecate. That's why I killed him, Your Honor. Dismissed. Now I forgot where I was. He derailed that train. You're going to hypothecate something of value to protect them. That document that you sign, guess what it's called? A mortgage. Now, how many of you have ever went out in your life and gotten a mortgage? Raise your hand. None of you have. I tricked you all. Here we go back with that OR and the EE. Everybody thinks, well, this is the one that's backwards. No, it's not, but you just have been taught wrong your entire life. You, as the borrower of the money, sign the mortgage and give it to the bank to pledge your house. Therefore, that makes you the mortgagor. You have given mortgages to the bank. You got money, but you gave a mortgage. Therefore, you are the mortgagor. The bank is the mortgagee. Make sure you understand that concept, or a lot of the stuff you do for your client's going to be wrong. Because when they start talking about the mortgagee, you need to understand that's the bank, not you. As the borrower of the money, you will hypothecate or pledge an asset that says, if I fail to give you my money, I will give you this asset. That document's called a mortgage. You are the maker of that mortgage. That makes you the mortgagor. Now's when I should have asked that question. I got a little ahead of myself. How does the bank know that the asset that you're hypothecating is worth the loan? That's where the appraisal comes in. I was premature on my statements. I got a little carried away. It was a premature hypothecation, Miguel. Now, something you need to know about the mortgage, the bank doesn't care what you mortgage. I'm buying a house at 12 Smith Street. I have a free and clear condo in Florida worth $2.8 million. I made that up because obviously I don't. But if I want to buy a house on 12 Smith Street, I can pledge the house and condo as the collateral. The bank doesn't care. They just want something, i.e. real property, that has the value. So they would send the appraiser to which property? The one in Florida, to make sure it's worth that. And they're going to go, oh, it's $2.8 million, free and clear. He wants to borrow 80. Yeah, we'll use that. If I miss the payments, which house are they coming after? The one in Florida. It just so happens that most people only have one thing worth 80 grand. It's the house they just bought. If you had another house, they don't care. They just want something to protect them so that they can get at an asset. All right? So you become the mortgagor. Now, let me tell you this. Let's go back. So what I'm holding in my hand and what you guys see is a note and a mortgage. Which one of these is the real bite from the dog? I've heard the note. I've not heard the right answer yet. The mortgage is the real bite. The barking is the note. If I owed you $10 and you had no collateral and you called me every day and say, hey, give me $10, I'm like, hey, Fungul, what are you going to do? I don't care. But if you had the title to my car, if I didn't pay it off, now I care. So the note is nice, but the real bite in this system is this mortgage which says I will surrender my asset if I don't abide by this note. Hence the term mortgage-backed security. It's mortgage-backed. That's where the term comes from. So these go together. The note and the mortgage go together. The bark is the note. The real bite in this is the mortgage. And now what happens is you borrow the money and the lender wants to record a what? They want to record a mortgage, but a mortgage is, they want to record the IOU, which creates the lien. Remember we talked about a monetary lien? And I said, we're going to get into the whole section. Here we come. Here's your monetary lien. The bank wants to record this so everybody knows, hey, we loaned Raymond 80 grand and it's on the recording and we're attaching or putting it on that asset of 12 Smith Street. That's how it got recorded. So now when I sell it, the title company goes, hey, Fifth Third has a lien, monetary, against your property. You owe them 80 grand. So if you sell your house, we take the first 80 grand, pay them back.
Would that be considered a constructive?
That's constructive notice. because they put it in, because the bank can't go tell everybody in the world that they loaned me money. So they put it in the recorder's office as constructive notice where everybody goes to look. Once again, not required by law, but everybody wants it recorded. The bank wants it recorded so that a title company will find it when they search. The lender or the buyer wants it recorded because, hey, I've got $20,000 in equity in this property. And the seller wants it recorded because I want off the tax records. So they will record it for posterity's sake and that you can use it. So let's stop this audio and move on.